I don't believe in an afterlife. If there is a God and He gave me anything, it was the gift of life. And so I want you to remember that as I read this poem. This is God Shuffled His Feet by the Crash Test Dummies. After 7 days, he was quite tired, so God said, "Let there be a day just for picnics with the wine and bread." He gathered up some people he had made, created some blankets, and laid back in the shade. The people sipped their wine, and what with God there, they asked him questions like, "Do you have to eat or get your hair cut in heaven? And if your eye got poked out in this life, would it be waiting for you up in heaven with your wife?" God shuffled his feet and glanced around at them. The people cleared their throats and stared right back at him. So he said, "Once there was a boy who woke up with blue hair. To him it was a joy till he ran out into the warm air. He thought of how his friends would come to see. Would they laugh, or had he got some strange disease?" God shuffled his feet and glanced around at them. The people cleared their throats and stared right back at him. The people sat waiting out on their blankets in the garden, but God said nothing. So somebody asked him, "I beg your pardon, I'm not quite clear about what you just spoke. Was that a parable or a very subtle joke?" God shuffled his feet and glanced around at them. The people cleared their throats and stared right back at him. I am well aware that if I stop breathing, I'm dead in about 5 minutes. And so I like this particular poem. This is My Thanksgiving by Don Henley. Lots of things have happened since the last time we spoke. Some of them are funny. Some of them ain't no joke. I trust that you will forgive me if I lay it on the line. I always thought that you were a friend of mine. Sometimes I think about you and I wonder how you're doing now and what you're going through. The last time I saw you, we were playing with fire. We were loaded with passion and a burning desire for every breath, for every day of living. And this is my Thanksgiving. Now the trouble with you and me, my friend, is the trouble with this nation. Too many blessings, too little appreciation. I know that kind of notion, well, it just ain't cool. So send me back to Sunday school. Because I'm tired of waiting for reason to arrive. It's too long we've been living these unexamined lives. I've got great expectations. I've got family and friends. I've got satisfying work. I've got a back that bends. For every breath, for every day of living, this is my Thanksgiving. Have you noticed that an angry man can only get so far until he reconciles the way things ought to be with the way things are? Here in this fragmented world, I still believe in learning how to give love and how to receive it. And I would not be among those who abuse this privilege. Sometimes you get the best light from a burning bridge. And I don't mind saying that I still love it all. I wallow in the springtime. Now I'm welcome in the fall. For every moment of joy, for every hour of fear, for every winding road that brought me here, for every breath, for every day of living. This is my Thanksgiving. For everyone who helped me start, and for everything that broke my heart. For every breath, for every day of living. This is my Thanksgiving.
There is a Garden from Trouble in Tahiti by Leonard Bernstein. I was standing in a garden gone to seed, choked with every kind of weed. There were twisted trees around me, all black against the sky, black and bare and dead and dry. My father called, come out of this place. I've wanted to go, but there was no way, no sign, no path to show me the way. Then another voice was calling. It barely could be heard. I remember every word. There is a garden. Come with me, come with me. A shining garden. Come and see, come and see. There love will teach us harmony and grace, harmony and grace. Then love will lead us to a quiet place. Then I ran to find the singer. I longed to see his face. He could free me from this place. Every step I took was terror. The ground beneath me burned. Stones were everywhere I turned. Worst of all, there was the noise. Angry shouts, furious cries, and a roar with the roar of millions of flies. Through it all, his voice was calling, but now it seemed quite near, soft and warm and strong and clear. There is a garden. Come with me, come with me. A shining garden. Come and see, come and see. There, love will teach us harmony and grace, harmony and grace. Then love will lead us to a quiet place, to a quiet place.
If you've been to one of our pagan ceremonies, then you know we sing about the growth and death of plants. And this is a song about the growing and harvesting of barley. This is John Barleycorn Must Die by Traffic. There were 3 men came out of the west, their fortunes for to try. And these 3 men made a solemn vow, John Barleycorn must die. They've plowed, they've sown, they've houred him in, thrown clods upon his head. And these 3 men made a solemn vow. John Barleycorn was dead. They let him lie for a very long time, till the rains from heaven did fall. And little Sir John sprung up his head, and so amazed them all. They let him stand till midsummer's day, till he looked both pale and wan. And little Sir John grew a long, long beard, and so became a man. They've hired men with a scythe so sharp to cut him off at the knee. They've rolled him and tied him, by the way, serving him most barbarously. They've hired men with the sharp pitchforks, who pricked him to the heart. And the loader he's served him worse than that, for he's bound him to the cart. They've wheeled him around and around the field, till they came upon a pond, and they hired men with the crabtree sticks to cutting skin from bone. And the miller he has served him worse than that, for he's ground him between 2 stones. And little Sir John in the nut brown bowl, and he's brandy in their glass. And little Sir John in the nut brown bowl proved the strongest man at last. The huntsman, he can't hunt the fox, nor so loudly blow his horn. And the tinker, he can't mend kettle or pot without a little barley corn. I always like this statement. If there are no rain clouds, then nothing grows. This is After the Rain by Nickelback. All your life there is rambling and scurrying. Take your time rather than hurry. Never too late to write the rest of your story. Remember to breathe, or you're going to be sorry. Life's no race, it's a companion, always faced with reckless abandonment. A ticket to life, as my mother once told me. Stick with your pride, and you're going to be lonely. Everybody says that life takes patience, but nobody wants to wait. Everybody says that we need salvation, but nobody wants to be saved. The light in the tunnel is just another runaway train. The blue skies we wait on are going to have to come after the rain. Spend your days happy and grateful. Avoid the taste of wanting and wasteful. Every good thing comes in moderation. Envy and greed will only lead to frustration. Choose your friends careful and kindly. Choose your words careful and wisely. Always be there to lend a comforting shoulder. One will be there a day when you're older. Old mistakes committed upon us always take a toll on the conscience. Every regret is a gift that you live with. Never forget to remember forgiveness. Everybody says that life takes patience, but nobody wants to wait. Everybody says we need salvation, but nobody wants to be saved. The light in the tunnel is just another runaway train. The blue skies we wait on are going to have to come after the rain.
American composer Michael Torke has set several biblical proverbs to music. These beautiful works are ones I have loved for some 20 years, and while the music is brilliant, today I will simply share some of the pithy lyrics. The first two are reproachful, but also have a touch of humor. The door turns on its hinges, the sluggard on his bed. Like the man who seizes a passing dog by the ears is he who meddles in a quarrel not his own. The next two have to do with food and will, I'm sure, hit home with some of you. Better a dry crust with peace than a house full of feasting with strife. Better a dish of herbs where love is than a fatted ox and hatred with it. The last one is good advice, no matter who you are or what circumstances you find yourself in. Boast not of tomorrow, for you know not what any day may bring forth.
If you ask me for a prayer, many times I will recite part 6 of this poem. I thought it was important that you heard the rest of it. This is Cygnus X1, Book 2, lyrics by Neil Peart. Part 1, Prelude. When our weary world was young, the struggle of the ancients first began. The gods of love and reason sought alone to rule the fate of man. They battled through the ages, but still neither force would yield. The people were divided, every soul a battlefield. Part 2, Apollo, bringer of wisdom. I bring truth and understanding. I bring wit and wisdom fair. Precious gifts beyond compare. We can build a world of wonder. I can make you all aware. I will find you food and shelter, show you fire to keep you warm through the endless winter storm. You can live in grace and comfort in the world that you transform. The people were delighted, coming forth to claim their prize. They ran to build their cities and conversed among the wise. But one day the streets fell silent, yet they knew not what was wrong. The urge to bring these fine things seemed to be so strong. The wise men were consulted, and the bridge of death was crossed, in the quest for Dionysus, to find out what they had lost. Part 3, Dionysus, bringer of love. I bring love to give you solace in the darkness of the night, in the hearts of eternal light. You need only trust your feelings. Only love can steer you right. I bring laughter, I bring music, I bring joy, and I bring tears. I will soothe your primal fears. Throw off those chains of reason, and your prison disappears. The cities were abandoned, and the forest echoed song. They danced and lived as brothers. They knew love could be no wrong. Food and wine were there aplenty, and they slept beneath the stars. The people were contented, and the gods watched from afar. But the winter fell upon them, and it caught them unprepared, bringing wolves and cold starvation, and the hearts of man despaired. Part 4, Argamemnon, the battle of heart and mind. The universe divided as the heart and mind collided with the people left unguided. For so many troubled years and a cloud of doubts and fears, their world was torn asunder into hollow hemispheres. Some fought themselves, some fought each other. Most just followed one another, lost and aimless like their brothers. For their hearts were so unclear, and the truth could not appear. Their spirits were divided into blinded hemispheres. Some who did not fight brought tales of old to light. My Rosinante sailed by night on her final flight. To the heart of Cygnus' fearsome force we set our course, spiraled through the timeless space to this immortal place. Part 5, Cygnus, bringer of balance. I have memory and awareness, but I have no shape or form. As a disembodied spirit, I am dead and yet unborn. I have passed into Olympus, as was told in tales of old, to the city of the immortals, marble white and purest gold. I see the gods in battle rage and high, thunderbolts across the sky. I cannot move, I cannot hide. I feel a silent scream inside. Then all at once the chaos ceased. A stillness fell, a sudden peace. The warriors felt my silent cry and stayed their struggle, mystified. Apollo was astonished. Dionysus thought me mad. But they heard my story further, and they wondered and were sad. Looking down from Olympus on a world of doubt and fear, its surface splintered into sorry hemispheres. They sat a while in silence. Then they turned at last to me. We will call you Cygnus, the god of balance you shall be. Part 6, the sphere, a kind of dream. We can walk our road together if our goals are all the same. We can run alone and free if we pursue a different aim. Let the truth of love be lighted. Let the love of truth shine clear. Sensibility, armed with sense and liberty, with the heart and mind united in a single, perfect sphere.